Hey y'all, hey, it's your balloon bestie Karen Sawyer with another very easy tutorial. In this tutorial, you're gonna learn how to make this whimsical Santa Claus. It is really easy as 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get this party popping. Okay, so let's get this party popping. I'm gonna start with the bottom row, which is going to be a 5-pack, okay? All of these balloons are inflated to 9 inches. It's gonna be up to you if you wanna do 8 inches, 9 inches, 10 inches, that's your choice. But for this particular one that I'm doing today, all of these balloons have been inflated to 9 inches. Using an 11-inch round, you can use a 12-inch round, okay? So my bottom row is going to be 5. Okay, now I'm going to bring the camera over so you can see how I'm going to string this up. But what I'm going to start with is putting the weight. So this is going to be without a stand. This is going to be frameless. Yes, you can use a stand if you choose. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how I tie in the weight. Actually, I'm using a sand weight today, and I'm using 2. You can use water weights, but you want this to be pretty heavy, so go ahead and tie 2 water weights together. And I'm going to string this in the middle, and then I'll go ahead and start stringing it up. So let me go ahead and get that situated, and I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, so just in case you are not familiar with how to create a 5-pack, I'm going to show you quickly. You simply make 2 duplets, and then you're going to tie a 3rd balloon in. We're going to call it a triplet, okay? You're going to take the nozzle of that 3rd balloon. Do not tie it first, and simply pull it into where the duplets are tied and tie it together. And then you'll put your 3 and your 2 together, pull that duplet right in where all the knots are, and then you will have yourself a 5-pack. All right, y'all, had to get down on the floor. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take that weight, and I'm going to first make sure that my balloons are not untwisted. Okay, perfect. So let me get you right in the middle. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to cross it. So, when you get started, it's a little, it did come apart. So hold on, make sure that your balloons are twisted before you put that weight in. All right, so twist it back. There we go. All right, so I'm going to place this right across the center, so I'm stretching it, okay? All right, so that's at the bottom. All right, now, I have a 260 on it, so I'm gonna go ahead and twist that in like a figure 8. Now what you can do if you want, you can just pull one of those weights back up and twist it, and then make sure that it's tied in. You can do that as well, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and use this though as one of my tying points. So again, this is 5 11-inch balloons inflated to 9 inches, okay? So the next one on the row, because we're stacking these, is going to be 1 white with 4 red. Again, every one of these balloons are inflated to 9 inches. So someone, I guarantee you, is going to send me a message and say, could you please give me the sizes? No matter how many times I say it in this video, someone is going to send me a message, I promise you. What was the sizes again? Oh, grief. Okay, look. All of these balloons are inflated to 9 inches, unless I tell you otherwise, okay? So let me pull this up a tad bit. Okay, so this is 1 white, 4 red. Pulling up. Now, you don't have to use a flattened 260. That's what I'm using today. You can use curling ribbon, monofilament, Dacker line, whatever you choose, okay? So that was the 2nd row. So the 3rd row, we're going to use a quint of 2 white and 3 red. You already got that? 2 white and 3 red. Now, make sure the whites are together, side by side. And pops happen, y'all. A lot to happen. My balloon popped, and my phone needed to be charged. So I'm back. Pops happen, y'all, okay? So don't stress yourself out when you're doing a job and a balloon pops. Just fix it. So the two whites were tied together. So all I have to do is untwist this from the red, okay? I'm going to, because my hand's full right now, I'm going to tie this. I've inflated, but I haven't tied it yet because you know I'm all about one action. I'm going to go ahead, tie this in, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead, after I tie this, I'm going to go ahead and take the pot piece out. Okay? And it's out. Okay? So we're back in business. So, third row is 3 red, 2 white. Put the 2 whites together, was what I was trying to tell you, because this is forming the beard of the Santa. So you're going to nestle them right on top of the 1 white below. Okay? Just like that. Gotta find my tying point. And I let it go. There it goes. I'll pull up in the center. Okay, I'm going to cross it. And I'm doing a figure 8. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time. Since this is frameless, just to be sure it's secure. Now, this is getting short, so I need to go ahead and tie my other tying point that I have. So I have 2 260s already tied together. Okay, let me move this back a little bit. All right, so I'm going to just tie that right on the end of this one. Okay. Now this is pretty tight because I really strung it in there tight. So you gotta hold on to it, or it's gonna lean back. All right. So let's really make sure that's tied tight. All right. So we're gonna move on. So we are on the 4th row now, and the 4th row is going to be all white. So it's gonna be 5 white. I'm gonna stand up in a minute because this is getting tall now. All right, and you're gonna keep doing this all the way up. Okay, so then there's gonna be 2 rows of white. Again, making sure my balloons are twisted. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and place this right on top, pushing down with a little pressure, taking my tie, and I'm going to cross it like a figure 8, and I'm going to do it one more time for good measure, and come back to the center, okay? So then the next row is going to be 3, it's going to be 5 balloons, but it's going to be 3 blush and 2 white. Okay, just like that. And this is going to be facing toward the front. Remember, there's a front and a back to this. Okay? So now we're forming the face. Okay? Alright. So the next one is going to be 2 blush and 3 white. Sure, putting this in the correct spot. It should be just like you see here. Can you see? Yep. Okay, I'll move you up. Okay, so we're almost done with the face. And then we're gonna go to the hat, and then I have to add the eyes. Okay? So before we get to the hat, we're gonna add the white. This is actually the beginning of the hat. This is the white fur of the hat. All right. All right. And now it's in place. All right, so let me go ahead and get the balloons for the hat, and I'll be right back, y'all. Before I go ahead and get started with the hat, and go ahead and put the eyeballs on. So you're going to take 2 5-inch rounds, and you're going to do 1 or 2 pumps, okay? So it's approximately, say, 3 inches, okay? I am going to use a flattened 260 to tie this in, okay? I'm going to actually wrap it into the balloon. There's no frame, so I can't tie it onto the frame, okay? So I'm gonna wrap it into the balloon itself. Now, what you could do is you can go ahead and cut off the excess nozzles, but I'm not going to do that right now, okay? So I'm going to hold on to this, okay? Now, I want this positioned right in between the two, okay? I will position it after I pull this in. So I'm pulling it pretty tight, okay? And I'm just creating a figure 8, okay? And you don't even need a whole 260, you can use a half, okay? I'm just gonna do it a couple times to make sure it's secure. Because you know why? People see these little eyes, they don't play with them, okay? And they're gonna pull on them. And people are not paying attention, their kids are all excited, and they're gonna pull on these eyes, I promise you, okay? So they're nice and tight. Now, I know that I don't want them right there, but I'm gonna go ahead and position them. And then you can take a piece of adhesive and I'm going to adhere them exactly where I want them to stay. Okay, so I've decided that I want to add a red balloon beneath it so it looks like the nose, okay? So I'm just tying it in. Remember, you are the designer. So if you don't want to do the little red nose, don't do the red nose. I'm just giving you options, okay? But as far as this design, I thought it would make it quite whimsical. So, and I made it a little larger than the eyes, okay? Again, I'm going to take some adhesive and I'm going to attach this so it can't be moved. One here and then on the 2 eyes, okay? Okay, y'all, so I'm working on the hat now. I'm going to create the hat as a separate piece and then I'm going to go ahead and tie it in. This is optional. So at the end of the hat, I'm going to do a little pom-pom. So you're going to take 12 5-inch balloons and you inflate them to approximately 3 inches. It's up to you, okay? If you want to do 2, 2.5, it's up to you, 3 inches, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then all you're doing is creating like a topiary, all right? So let me show you how to do that right quick, just in case you can't figure that out in your head. Exactly the size I want, okay? So all you're gonna do is you're gonna make duplets and pull them into each other. At the knots, okay? So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. All right, there's the topiary. So that is going to be the little pom-pom of the hat. How cute is that? All right, so with this hat, I'm going to put this in the bag. You are going to be using 5-inch rounds as well as 11 or 12-inch, okay? If you have 9-inch, you can use 9-inch as well. It's up to you. But I'm just going to go with 2 sizes, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and inflate all my balloons, and then when it's time for me to stack them, I'm going to come back and then I'll tell you each size for each row, because we're going to graduate, okay? We're going to start with large and then we're going to graduate smaller all the way throughout the end. It's going to be 9 rows, okay? Again, you're the designer. If you don't want to do 9 rows and you want your hat to be a little smaller, that is your choice. Okay? If you are enjoying this tutorial, hit that like button. It helps my channel out a ton, and it's a super small free way for you to show your support. Thank you for watching, and let's get back to the tutorial. Okay, y'all, I'm back on the floor. All right, so this is going to be the hat. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 rows where I'm using 11-inch balloons, okay? So the first row is I'm looking for 8.5 inches, and I've written the size on the balloons, okay? Again, that's a tip. If you're going to pre-inflate before you go on installation, write the size on the balloon and rate it so that you can find it, and also so that it's hidden. So this is 8.5, and I've written it right on the inside where the nozzles are. I don't know if you can see that right there, okay? So I've taken my flattened 260, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie this right in the center. Again, we're using it's a 5-pack, okay? So I'm tying a knot, okay? So that was 8.5. The next row is going to be 8 inches, okay? And I'm just gonna graduate all the way down. Okay, so 8 inches, looks like it's probably this one. Now let's see, let that go so I can see. This is very easy. The hardest part is for me to find where I wrote those numbers. I'm supposed to write them right where the knots are. Here it is. This is 8 inches. Okay. So let me adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. All right. So let me let that go for a minute, because then I gotta find my center. All right. So that's the center. Here is my tie. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure these balloons did not untwist while they were in the bag. All right, right in the center, go ahead and do your figure 8. And I'm gonna do it one more time. Okay, so 8.5, 8, this is gonna be 7.5 that I'm looking for. And I think it's gonna be this one right here. Let me make sure. Yep. All right. So we're on. I have to keep count for the rows we're on so I don't confuse the sizes. Okay, so we're on the 3rd row. So I'm gonna pull it in. You lift this up a little bit so you can see. I need a cameraman, y'all. I swear I do. All right. Pull that up. Do it again. All right. So now we need to go to, so that was 8.5, 8, 7.5, and 7. I believe this is 7 inches right here in my hand. Let me see where I wrote it at. Let me let that go so I can see what this is. I hid the number for myself. Again, make sure your numbers are, you put them in a place that's going to be hidden when you stack it. Now, I know I'm not crazy. I know I wrote that number on here. Oh, good grief. Yep, this is it. All right. Okay. So make sure you put it right where it belongs. Let me back this up a little bit. Lift the camera up so you can see. Hey, y'all, hey. All right. Find your tie. Go in. Figure 8. And I'm doing it twice because this is frameless. I want to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay? All right. So that was, let me start again. 8.5, 8. 7.5, 7. This is going to be 6. I don't need to look because I can see what I have left in my bag. I know this is the right one. Okay. Now, I'll let that go. All right. Now, I only have one tie here, and I don't want to get another one, so I'm not going to wrap it around twice because I want to make sure I don't run out of balloon. All right, so now I'm switching to 5-inch balloons, okay? Let me back you up a little bit. And so the first one is going to be inflated to 5 inches. Yep. And then the next one will be 4, 3, 2. That's exactly how you're going to do this, okay? 5, 4, 3, and 2. So now I need to stand up. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. All right. So I'm going to tie this one in. Okay. Okay, so this one is now 4 inches. Make sure the number is hidden. Because see, my number is written right. Can you see it? You can't see it because it's hidden. It's written right inside the balloon. So I'm going to make sure that's to the bottom. Okay. All right. And then 3 inches. Now these sizes are approximate, so you can adjust them to your own particular needs. Okay, and then my last one is approximately 2 inches. Okay, can you see that? So I want to make sure that is on the bottom, so no one can see it. And then look how much tail I have left. That's it. It made it all the way to the end. I'm just gonna twist that in a couple times. Make sure it's really secure. Okay. Now that is done. Now to tie on that pom-pom, I can either tie it in or I can use some adhesive. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. Let me just go ahead and get me. Let's see. We still have some tie left on the 260 on the top of this. So I'm going to use that and I'm going to tie this in, okay? So you're going to put that on top. But before I do that, because I don't want to have to get a ladder, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. I want this to bend, okay? So I'm going to bend it over how I want it. All I'm doing is bending it over. Okay? Just like that. See that? That's all I did. So I don't have to get on a ladder. If you want to bend it here instead, you can. That's up to you. Okay? Now, I'm grabbing the nozzles so I can hold it. And I'm going to go ahead and move it from the wall so I can get to it. I'm going to put it in position where I want it. And that's where I want it. Actually, like that. Okay, make sure it's snug. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go in. And I'm going to create a figure 8. And back this up. Lift this up so you can see. See that? How cute is that? And then that's where my pom-pom is going to go. It's up to you if you're going to do the pom-pom. Okay? I think I'm going to string it in. And then add a piece of adhesive. And then I'll come back and show you the final look. All right, stay tuned, y'all. I'm going to show you this. Obviously, you don't need a whole 260. You just need a piece of scrap. So I'm just going to pull this in. Let me move this down so you can see me. I'm just going to pull this in. You can either just keep making a figure 8 or you can tie. I'm going to tie mine. Right where all the knots are, right in the center. Okay? And then you're going to just go ahead and pull this into the end of that. Okay? Now, the smart thing would be to do this before you put that up there, because now I'm going to have to either pull this down a little or find myself a ladder. I don't know if I have a ladder here in my studio. I might. So, but again, make sure you put this on before you put that. I forgot. And if you forget, it's not a big deal. You're going to just do what I do. You're going to either bend this down or stand yourself on the ladder. Okay, I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can finish here, but just make sure you put some eyes. If you have a Sharpie, now before you add your adhesive, make sure this is straight, okay? Because of the diagonal that I was at when I was looking at it, it's not quite straight, but make sure yours is straight, okay? If I try to take this apart, I'm afraid it's gonna pop, so we don't want that to happen. So Make sure it's straight before you commit with that adhesive. Now, make sure you either draw eyeballs on with a Sharpie or use stickers. I don't have my stickers here in the workshop. So I want to make sure I add some eyes to that. Now, you can stop here, like I said, or we're going to take this to the next level, and I'll show you what that's going to be in 1 second. Stay tuned, y'all. This is how I pull them in. I took 2 duplets, used my flattened 260. You can be your curling ribbon, monofilament, background, whatever you choose to use, okay? Move this down a little bit so you can see. All right, so I tied it to the one. This is no different than when you're tying in clusters, okay? And you can make these into 3 instead of 2, okay? Or 4, it's up to you, okay? Then you're gonna just go ahead and pull it in, just like you would cluster, okay? Let me see if I can zoom you in or move you up. Tip. When you curl your balloon, if it doesn't go all the way to the end, obviously you don't want it to look like that, but you can still use this to simply tie it and then cut it, okay? Therefore, you can still use it. Now, obviously, you would prefer that it inflate all the way to the end, but if it doesn't, we still can use this, all right? That was just a quick tip. Okay, so the option is to make it a full beard, and I'm using 260s, okay? You can make duplet or you can do triplet, okay? And so then what you're gonna do is take your flattened 260 or whatever you're using to tie your balloons in. And so you can do them in 2s or 3s, like I said, or 4s, up to you. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and tie one end to the other. Just like that. And you're gonna tie it in. So let me move you a little closer so that you can see how I did that. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm simply going in. Twist it, okay, and placement where I would like it, just like that. Not that difficult, okay? That makes it very whimsical. I'm gonna add one more, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. Be right back, y'all. Okay, well, there is the finished look. Remember, the curly 260s is optional. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do the red nose. You do need the eyes, however, and that is your finished look. As always, remember, keep learning, creating, and celebrating. See you in the next tutorial. So here's another tip. Now, given the fact that I decided to add the pom-pom and this is bending over and this is frameless now, I want you to know that you might have to add some counterweight. So what I did is I took and put a weight here. Now, obviously, this should be red. And then you would put some adhesive on here so that and no one could just easily pull it out. But once it's the same color as this, it'll be camouflage. So you'll need some counterweight, because if not, this is going to not be sturdy, okay? So you might need to add some counterweight. Also, if you're going to go this tall, because if you don't go this tall and you don't have this bend, then you might not need that counterweight. And another thing, if you want this to be frameless, you can consider making that very bottom row larger, okay? But again, you're going to need that counterweight. So I'm going to take it out just so that you can see what will happen without the counterweight, because there's a bend. It's just not as straight, okay? It's just a little bit. And then when we add it back, again, make it the same color. You just put it in there easy. I can't do it with one hand. I have a cameraman, so let me see if I can get him to actually put the weight in. And then you'll be able to see exactly how you do that. Not all the way. Okay, and you would put some adhesive on that. And now it's sturdy. So that's your counterweight. All right. Have fun. So here's one additional option is you can add the mustache. All right, and again, make sure your eyes are straight. I cannot fix this now because there we go, a little bit. I had put adhesive on there, but I just fixed it a little bit. So there you go. There is your Santa Claus. And again, you can do it frameless, or you can add a pole. So what I've gone back, I should have showed you, but I've gone ahead and put a pole in after I made it frameless because I want this up for a good while. So I went ahead and did that. I want this to stay up for a couple weeks. If you want it up for, more than just one event, I would recommend you do a frame. All right, so what we did actually, so you understand, is we came from the back and we slid a pole in all the way through. Can you see in there? All the way through. And I still have weights on it, however, from when it was frameless. I just kept those sand weights on it. But again, if this is for more than a one-day event, I would definitely add the frame. But you do have the option, again, of making it frameless. All right? Keep learning, creating, and celebrating. See you in the next tutorial. Happy decorating.